What do ice cubes have to do with weight loss? Well, here's a hint. It has absolutely nothing to do with the number of calories in an ice cube. But the answer is going to be revealed to you in just a moment. Hey, welcome to Unshakable Habits Live. My name is Stephen Box, and this is the show that in about 5 minutes a day helps you to take those hard to establish habits, the ones that seem to be unsustainable, and make them unshakable. So, what does an ice cube have to do with weight loss? In his book, Atomic Habits, James Clear uses this great example about change. When it comes to an ice cube, all of the change happens at 32 degrees. If I have an ice cube at 30 degrees, it's not going to melt. Why? Because it's still below the freezing temperature. Now, for all of my non US friends, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. When you get that ice cube to 32 degrees, 33 degrees, it melts because it's no longer at freezing temperature. That's where all the magic starts to happen. And when it comes to our habits, the same thing applies. A lot of times we think, well, it's been sitting there, it's been sitting there, it's been sitting there. I've been putting in the work. Maybe you raise the temperature from 25 degrees to 30 degrees, which is the example that James Clear uses in Atomic Habits, and nothing's happened. And so you don't think anything's happening. But the truth is, something is happening. You just haven't reached the breaking point yet. You haven't reached that melting point in the case of your ice cube. Sorry, guys. Having some issues with Facebook here. All right. So apologize for anybody on Facebook. You just got disconnected, but hopefully you're back now. When you get to 32 degrees, that's when the magic starts to happen. Well, let's take weight loss as a perfect example of this. A lot of times people get fooled. They'll go on and say a low carb diet. When you are low carb, you're not eating a lot of carbs. Therefore, your body doesn't get carbs to use for energy. It starts to use its glycogen stores that are already in your body. Those store water. So that water weight then goes away with that glycogen. And on the scale, it looked like you lost weight, but the truth is you haven't actually lost any weight. And the reality is, it's frustrating when you think you've lost that weight, and then all of a sudden things stall out, and that's when we're likely to fall back into our habits. The truth is, when it comes to weight loss, especially fat loss in particular, I'll just use this guys as an example here. We start to store fat on our belly at the very bottom, and we work all the way up to our head. Well, we lose it in the exact opposite direction. So it starts with the face, the neck, the shoulders, the chest, then the upper abs, then the middle abs, and then finally the lower abs, which where we'll start to lose some weight. So in the beginning, when it's just on your face, you may not notice it. It's like that ice cube that's sitting at 30 degrees. Things have started happening under the surface. It's been getting warmer, but it's not warm enough yet to start melting. And just like with weight loss, maybe you've been putting in the work. Maybe some things have been happening underneath. Maybe all the stuff that's building towards the right temperature is happening, but you haven't reached the perfect temperature to create any reaction yet. Or maybe you're just getting there and you're starting to see it. Those first few drops that start to sweat off the ice cube. So when you are trying to lose weight, and you can apply this to anything, but I'm just using weight loss as the example here. When you're trying to lose weight, you have to be patient because it's not that all the work you're putting in and not seeing results doesn't count. It's that it's putting in the work before the magic actually happens. You just haven't gotten to that magic spot yet. That's all it is. So be patient. In other words, become unshakable, right? Because that's what unshakable means. It means to go ahead and stick with it even when things are tough. So that is it for today's episode. Hope you would join me back tomorrow for another episode of Unshakable Habits Live. And in the meantime, just remember, you can be better than good enough because you, my friend, can be unshakable.